Well, you know, the other problem, though, I think it works from both ends. What my experience is, because I've written a book on the subject, Dirty Words on Clean Skin, and when I was working on it, what I found was that the media bias was so prevalent. There was just a study done this year where they logged in 51,000 quotes of print media and TV, and when they said that if they're talking about a woman's issue, they quote men 5 times as much as women in such an article. When it's talking about women's health issues, I mean, this was shocking to me. And if it's politics and the economy, they quote men at a ratio of 3 to 1 and 4 to 1 over women. So the problem with this is that you have the media bias coming from here. You have comedians who insult women and put them down in sexist ways. And then you have the advertisers and you have the opposing politicians who get to paint women as bad mommy and so on. So I think you're right. It does start in the home, but for now, I honestly believe we also have to work it from both ends. So, you know, as long as you keep seeing these media messages that are so negative and that paint a female politician as a bad mother, and they talk about fat ankles and cackles and bourbon shots and all this bowling scores and strident, as long as you paint her in this way, you're not going to make any progress. So this way, if the home fights back, they can also fight back against the media bias and say, you know what, that's not acceptable. What would you advise a woman who wants to follow in your footsteps? Today, I mean, just coming up in today's world.
Yeah, what would I advise? What would be my advice? Always say whatever you want to say. Don't keep anything inside of you. If you think he's dumb, tell him, I'm sorry, I think you're dumb and you're wrong. You're not right. Because I think our problem, like a woman, we always keep quiet. We just think too much and we don't take it out. You, at least you're right. And at least I'm on TV and I can do interviews and I can express myself. But what happened with the other 99% of the people?
That's right.
They just keep quiet, they just see and they just, how they want to express themselves.
Do you feel that you have the permission, because you said, because you're on a network and you get to express yourself, do you feel that you have a lot of freedom in terms of what you want to cover and the way that you express yourself on camera? That's fantastic.
Yes, we have a lot of freedom. We have a lot of freedom. Obviously, one thing is the line, the editorial line that we have to follow up all the events in the news every day. And we have our freedom to do whatever we want to say about how we think about some things, some issues.
You know, there was one last thing I wanted to talk to you about today. It was the situation in Juarez. I've understood that there are about 700 women who have been killed since 1993. And it's something that seems very much to be kept under the rug, that is kept quiet, that we're really not talking about. And just as in this country, you know, there is so much violence against women. I mean, an act of violence is committed against a woman every couple of seconds in this country.
Yeah, let me tell you something very interesting about the Juarez, that many women die in Oaxaca too for family violence.
Yeah.
You know, many people die in Yucatan, in Jalisco, in Sinaloa, in another Mexican states. Maybe they just keep their eyes in Juarez right now because that's where the media start talking. But I'm pretty sure many women die here in Ohio too.
Yes.
That we don't know.
Right.
And when you start looking and doing the research and you go to the police in those little towns, many women are missed. They never found the bodies. They don't know where they are. They just disappear. But the media didn't cover those stories. Because there's some bigger stories about politics, about this, about that, that you have to cover. But the problem and the reality is many women in each part of the world, in Afghanistan, how they're treating the women, how they're dying every day for violence because they misrespect the sex, female, that's it. So I think that things have to start changing.
What can we do about it?
Educate kids. At least we're struggling right now, but this next generation is not struggle with that. And open our mouths, you and me. Yes. Because we can do it. Yeah.
We open our mouths.
Yeah, because we can do and tell what we think and what we say. And try to work in this level for next generations, go to another level.
This was so lovely to talk to you today. I love talking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anita.
I really appreciate it.
Sorry for my English. It's not
no, your English is lovely. Palmira Perez. I'm Anita Finlay. Thank you so much for joining us today.